where you're from? That's where I'm from. Oh, wow.
You don't want that smoke?
Hey, damn, boy, you can run.
Wow, I felt so slow.
That's all right. Everybody else looks slower.
Missouri football, man. Let's go. All day, just like that. Yeah, little man. 1-9. Hell yeah, that's an easy one right there. Man, laughing.
That's a record. Is it? 43. Oh, yeah. Hey, it ain't complicated.
I know, just go to the guy that's open.
Good to see you too, bro. I gotta give you my number too. Hell yeah.
You keep changing up on me.
I know.
Much respect. You too. How many times you got away from me? Yeah. It should be a crime.
Let's bring back our Hall of Famer for Kurt Warner's top 3. Kurt, we did it. Oh, my goodness. We are in the postseason, and we've seen the evolution of these quarterback storylines through this segment every week. So what are your top 3 quarterback storylines to watch for the wild card weekend?
Well, MJ, I love that we've got 6 games, so there's so many things to choose from. I love that Alex Smith is back in the playoffs. Questions about the quarterback position with the Rams going into their game, but I'm going to start at number 3 because it comes playoff time, and I'm always looking at the veteran guys, and I'm wondering, we've got some great ones that are in these playoffs. Big Ben, right? We've got Drew Brees. We've got Phillip Rivers, and you sit back and you wonder, is this going to be the last chance that we get to watch these guys make a run for the Super Bowl? Now, I'm not speculating that any of these guys are going to retire, but you always start thinking about that at this time of year. It's going to be fun to watch how this thing plays out, but hopefully all those guys get a chance to make a run in the playoffs starting this weekend. And then number 2 on my storylines is another older guy, although he's never talking about retiring, says he's going to play forever, and that's Tom Brady, who's playing some of the best football of his career. The last 4 games, he has been incredible, throwing for big yards, throwing for lots of touchdowns, and now he goes against a really, really good defensive front. People argue best defensive front in football. What do you have to do to Tom Brady? Get him off the spot. You've got to get pressure on him. You've got to hit him. Well, here comes the Washington football team defensive front led by Chase Young. Going to be a great matchup between those two. And then number 1, for me, it's about Lamar Jackson, is that he's won an MVP, but we still have questions about him come playoff time. If a team can take away what you do best, can you still find ways to beat good teams at this time of year? And so we've seen him lose to this Titans team the last 2 times he's faced them, including the playoffs last year. So we're all looking to get some of those questions answered. Is who is Lamar Jackson come playoff time? Can he find a way to get that first victory?
Oh, Kurt, the drama continues into January. And I hope you have some extra coffee, snacks, vitamins, whatever you need, because you and the Game Day Morning crew are going to be busy starting Saturday right here on NFL Network at 9 Eastern. Kurt, thank you.
Yeah, hey, Pittsburgh, talk that playoff talk.
Look, the Steelers season started like the untold 11-0. Who would have thought they hit a rough road? If you ask me, they missing the drama of old. They don't turn it around. I don't know how this gonna unfold. Is this the last run for Ben? Or Juju and Claypool ready to get it in? If not, can their defense make amends? Can TJ Watt and friends in the new steel curtain get to working and lift them up to the rim? Tomlin been coaching with the motivation, teaching boys pride, pressure, and he knowing patience. The city wants a title, they rightfully waiting, and the Steelers working hard, planning no vacations. Yeah, black and yellow on the hunt, you ain't heard. When you play off racing, you can't swerve. Hey, yo, Steeler Nation, tell them what's the word. Let's turn it up and do it for the bird. You know what it is.
All right, a little hype video for the Steelers, not so hype for their opponents. Kevin Stefanski is the first Browns head coach to lead the team to 10-plus wins and a playoff berth in the same season since Bill Belichick did it in 1994. And he'll be watching the game, not coaching on the sidelines, because he tested positive for COVID. Stefanski confirmed there were no new positive COVID tests at the facility. Aditi Kinkhabwala is covering the Browns and Steelers game for us.
It was little surprise that Browns head coach Kevin Stefanski tried to downplay his own role on this forthcoming game day. He said ultimately he's feeling fine, but he tried to push us past his own COVID diagnosis and focus on his team. Stefanski is obviously feeling well enough to still lead all the team's virtual meetings, and on Wednesday, that's entirely how the team operated. They had a virtual walkthrough and were not allowed back in the facility. Stefanski said there were no new positive tests Wednesday, so the hope is that the Browns can indeed get a physical practice in on Thursday. As for preparing without their play caller, Stefanski said that the most important thing that he does does on Sundays is read a card and call out plays. And he said that offensive coordinator Alex Van Pelt can certainly do that, as he put it, better than he can. Stefanski expressed full confidence that his team has its personality, has its nature, has its tone set, and that it does not need him to play in the way that they have up until this time. And as for his players, he also expressed disappointment for the ones that won't be able to play, like guard Joel Bitonio. But he said there is a task at hand, and the most important thing is to focus on that task.
And the Browns and Steelers is the finale to Super Wildcard Weekend. It all starts Saturday with the Colts and Bills, and Rams, Seahawks, and Bucks in Washington. On Sunday has Ravens and Titans, Bears, Saints, before Browns and Steelers. So for this conversation, let's bring in my friend DeAngelo Hall. Love the headshot there. DeAngelo, come on in, my friend. We've made it all the way to postseason. But listen, half of the teams playing this weekend, as you know, they're not going to be around for very long. So let's focus on the positive just for 1 second. Which teams playing Wild Card Weekend will make the deepest playoff run?
Oh, MJ, if I had the opportunity to just sit back and pick a team and just ride with them, it's got to be the Buffalo Bills. When you look at how Josh Allen has developed over the course of his young career, oh my goodness, Brian Daboll needs a head coaching job, because he did exactly the right thing by putting playmakers around Josh Allen, and not just any type of playmakers, but explosive ones that he understood could help Josh Allen mature into the quarterback he needed to be. A guy who he could have all the confidence in the world, could go out and make plays for him. And Josh Allen and this Bills offense has just been lights out. And then you take a look at what the Bills have been doing the last couple of weeks on defense, and they have been turning the football over. They've been keeping opposing quarterbacks from making completions, and that's what you got to do in this league. You have to force turnovers from the opposing team, and you have to get that football back to your offense. This Buffalo Bills defense paired with this explosive offense, and I tell you what, MJ, I love watching Buffalo play football, and I think they could possibly face the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game.
Ooh, and for all the doubt at the beginning of the season, they sure have shut everybody up with what they've done so far. And funny you should say the Bills, D. Hall, because we've got more for you. After the break on NFL Total Access, our friends over at PFF have examined every angle of the Colts and Bills game, and they have answers to 2 questions: who wins it and how? But first, before they take the field this weekend, NFL players took the mic today. All right, I love this segment. Time to put the guys on the clock. Yes. Willie and D. Hall, we have 3 minutes. So you already know, make your point, but then you got to keep it moving, all right? Here we go. We're going to start with you, D. Hall. And the Rams and Seahawks game. Who will have a bigger impact, Jalen Ramsey or DK Metcalf?
Ooh. Oh, this is a hard one. I'm going to probably say DK Metcalf, for the simple fact that this is going to be a battle, right? But I just think that the Seattle and DK Metcalf and Russell Wilson will just have so much opportunities. I don't see the Rams being able to sustain drives, and being a DB, I know at some point that receiver's going to have an opportunity to make a play, and I think DK will have more opportunities than Jalen will to actually go out there and dominate.
Look, you saw that, huh?
Yeah,
all right.
I'm sorry.
Willie, we're switching to Ravens and Titans. Who will have more touchdowns on this one, Lamar Jackson or Derrick Henry?
It's hard to go against the Russian touchdown champ, Derrick Henry. But I gotta go with Lamar Jackson. And the reason being is because the last time they played in the playoffs, they shut Lamar Jackson down. And he understands that he cannot throw the ball 60-plus times in this game and win. Mike Vrabel will have a plan. So Lamar, the offensive coordinator, and everybody in Ravens country understand, for them to be successful, do what you've been doing for the last few weeks. Run the football. Use Lamar. He is a weapon. We're not going to hide him. It's win or go home. Lamar Jackson understands he needs to have the ball in his hands. He needs to break big plays in the open field, and they have to have design runs for him. This is the biggest game because it's the next game.
That's all they got to do. Focus on that. D. Hall, the hot seat getting a little hotter here. What's more likely to happen? The Bears upset the Saints or Washington upsets the Bucs?
I know where you're going with this one.
Come on now. You know I'm a homer, MJ. Willie, y'all know that. Washington upsets the Bucs. The great Tom Brady. And look, how does Washington do this? The formula is, like Willie said earlier, letting this aggressive defensive line rush, letting Montez Sweat, letting Daron Payne, Jonathan Allen. They have to be able to win those one-on-ones up front and get to Tom Brady. Tom Brady is the GOAT. I've never gotten an interception from him. He is one of the best to ever do it. But when there's pressure in his face, he's average. And so I'm telling you what, Washington has a chance.
TB12, I hope you tuning in.
Don't tell Tom I said that.
All right.
Don't tell Tom I said that.
No, it's too late. And you never will get an interception from him.
Last question, Willie. What's going to be the bigger number? Jonathan Taylor rush yards or Stephon Diggs receiving yards?
Man, it's going to be Jonathan Taylor. He had 253 yards the last time he stepped on the football field. And if I'm the coach, listen, you got one of the best, if not the best, offensive lines in the league. Put this young man behind this offensive line, make it physical, make it nasty in the trenches, and try to maul this defensive front. Run the football. Now, on the other side, I think they're smart enough to understand Stephon Diggs is one of the best route runners and receivers in the game. He led the league in receptions. Double team him, take him out of the game, run the football, take the ball out of Phillip Rivers' hands. We don't need him throwing the ball 40 times. This is the recipe. That man right there, what you see on the screen, running for touchdowns and big plays.
That's it. With 5 seconds left on the clock, I thought the shade to Thomas Brady was going to throw us off a little bit,
hey,
but
TV,
you guys
did
it.
Right?
You beat the clock. All right, and Colts Bills is the game that starts the weekend. For more on that Colts and Bills game, let's check in with PFF's George Chahuri.
Just last week, the hottest team in the NFL, the Buffalo Bills, beat the Miami Dolphins, and in doing so, they paved the way for the Indianapolis Colts to head to upstate New York